guys, welcome to the Treasury Update Podcast Coffee Break Session, the show where we cover foundational Treasury topics and questions in about the same amount of time it takes you to drink your coffee. This is your host, Alexa, joined today with Craig Jeffery, Managing Partner of Strategic Treasurer. Welcome back, Craig.
It's good to be a guest again.
Yeah. So today we're going to continue on our mini-series on kind of taking a look at different accounts. And today we're going to cover what are disbursement accounts. So Craig, can you give us just a quick overview of what are disbursement accounts?
These are specialized accounts in a cash management structure that are simply geared for handling payments. It might be related to payroll. It might be AP. It might be just electronic items, that you allow people to debit. Okay.
So how are these disbursements kind of differing from some of the payments?
Yeah. So disbursements and payments, there can be some differences in the dictionary in terms of how you define those. But from a Treasury perspective, I'm dispersing funds. I'm sending funds out. Most of the time, we're going to treat those as payments. So payments or disbursements can come from an admin system. They can come from an accounts payable system, or they can come and arise from Treasury activity. So I may make an interest payment on debt that may come from Treasury. I could be paying off invoices that we've received for services or goods, or it's still considered a disbursement when you're dispersing payroll funds, even though the type is payroll. So it's all money moving out of the organization.
Typically in corporates, who do we see managing some of these disbursement accounts?
Managing the account from a bank account perspective will be Treasury. That's almost always the case in organizations that have Treasury. Who manages the posting of this item at a detail level? Oftentimes that's going to be accounts payable if it's a AP type disbursement account or specialized for that. If it's related to payroll or a group in accounting might support that activity if it's separate. And then if it's a Treasury account, it's usually going to be someone in the controller's group or accounting who does the reconciliation for that activity. So that's a it depends answer.
Okay. And then maybe just one more question, and it's kind of piggybacking off of what are disbursement accounts. So I know you gave the definition of what disbursement accounts are, but typically in like a bank account structure, do disbursement accounts sit by themselves? Are they, connected to other accounts, or how does that maybe look in a bank account structure?
Yeah, that's great. So if I'll describe it from the maybe a fairly typical cash concentration system in North America, the U.S., we'll look at it as the hourglass shape where the concentration account is in the center. And that would fund the disbursement account or accounts, which would sit on the bottom where the sand goes down to. So there might be an AP, payroll, maybe there's another electronic disbursement account. Maybe Treasury uses that. And so the funding would flow from the concentration account down to those accounts.
That makes sense. I really like that example too. I feel like that paints a really good picture of it. So I'll just do a quick recap of that. So you said that disbursement accounts are really special accounts and cash management systems used for managing those outgoing items. And to kind of take your example, it was the hourglass figure, and we're talking about the bottom half of it, where the concentration account is really that center middle portion of that hourglass figure. And some of the management of these disbursement accounts is maybe always Treasury as far as I think the banking piece of it goes. But for some of the posting at the detail level, we can see it at either AP or accounting. And then disbursements or payments might differ, in disbursements being how payments are sent out, whereas payments are also how they're sent out. So there's not really a ton of differing there, and they're usually viewed as the same. Was there anything else you wanted to add there?
No, appreciate the time talking about these specialized accounts. It's fun to cover them.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today, Craig. And to all of our listeners, make sure you join in every first and third Thursday of the month for a new episode. And as always, we're appreciative of any of your comments, questions, or feedback that you can send over to podcast@strategictreasurer.com. Thanks again, Craig.
Thank you, Alexa.
This podcast is provided for informational purposes only, and statements made by Strategic Treasurer LLC on this podcast are not intended as legal, business, consulting, or tax advice. For more information, visit and bookmark strategictreasurer.com.